What is up, traders? Stan Gluzman here, bringing to you today's trader takeaways. So this is more of a midday market recap, just like last time. While some of these ideas are fresh in my mind, I closed out all of my positions, and let's see what we traded today. So Bitcoin has been dropping. Um, 11,000 now. So at the market open, it was trading at about 12,000 or so, and naturally, all these blockchain companies have gapped down as well. Um, so let's see, SGRP. This was from Friday. Gaps down. Mara gaps down. XNET. This is a big one. Where it gapped down. I don't know why I don't have pre-market for yesterday, but it went down from 23 on Thursday to a low of 16 or so on Friday, and today we gapped down to about 14 or even below 14 at one point. Then we have DPW gapping down, then we have CNET gapping down, and a bunch of other ones. The one that didn't gap down, a couple of them gapped up. The fresh ones, so to speak, was NCTY, one of them. This was actually my first trade. I was watching this pre-market. It was really strong. The bids were strong. The offers were getting wiped out, and I was like, I want to get involved because this may be, this may run. So this may go to $2 and so on. Who knows? So I started buying this on a dip. I was waiting for a dip. It was rallying. I waited for the dip, and the dip presented itself right here when it dipped, and then put on kind of a second low here, which is a base, right? Could be considered as a small base. The bid was there, and so I started buying these offers, and so 38, 39, 40, 41, all these offers, started wiping them out, and then at the open we were up nicely. Lots of chasers came in and we're just chasing these offers, and I scaled out at mid 60s, I think 64 or 65 half, and then on the way down I took 60 on the other half, and this was my first trade, and it was a pretty nice one, pretty nice gain. I actually got in on the short side. After the bounce into the VWAP, I started shorting in here, risking previous high, so pretty wide stop relatively, and then once we started going sideways below VWAP, I went in full size, risking VWAP, and I covered. I was working on my patience today. Didn't do so well, but on this stock, I think I did. I waited for a higher low, and then I started covering. So I covered half in here, and then gave it another chance, and covered the other half once we reclaimed the base. I was waiting for another opportunity to short it, and the opportunity was after a crack. So we tested 150s, and then we cracked on volume. So a lot of volume traded in here. So a lot of people bought it. So this was more of an exhaustion candle. Maybe if we look at a 5-minute chart. So we have a little doji here on a 5-minute chart. So the longs got exhausted, and then we cracked, went sideways. So this is a good area to short, given that we're trading below or at the level of this volume. So mostly below all of this volume that traded. So I got involved in here, risking above 150, and here we go. We flushed down really nicely. I covered half into this wash, and I covered the other half once we started coming up, and actually even got long a little bit, so scalped it on long side. Overall, this was pretty much 100% success rate for me. A couple of scalps on the short side, a couple of scalps on the long side. This was a big one, but really nice trader today. Really easy to read. The next biggest winner was XNET for me. Originally, I was short biased. Once it started ripping, put on sort of a double top, but a lower high here. I thought this was going to be a double top, and I thought this was going to sell off, but the bids were there, and on the tape I could see a couple big buyers stepping in, so I flipped it to long. I lost maybe 2 or 3 cents. I was short 41s, and I covered I think 43s or so, 44s, and then started buying this on this candle. I think my average was about 44, 45, and I scaled out at $16. I took some off 15.90. There was a little bit of trouble on the offer, but we got wiped out pretty nicely, and then I took everything off at $16. In hindsight, could have waited a little bit longer, but I took the easy trade. The reason I took off 16 was $16 is naturally a level because it's a round number, and B, because this was a level from before, from yesterday. So 16 or so, 1605 maybe, was a base from yesterday. We bottomed out like 3 times, so I thought there's going to be some resistance, and there was, but a little bit higher. So we went up another 30-40 cents, and then we started going sideways. We started going sideways at $16, and this was actually also a good short because a lot of resistance here from yesterday. We double top and dropped, but I wasn't involved in any of this. I caught the predictable move and I left it alone. I didn't want to be involved in all the chop. So those are the 2 good trades. Mara was another good one. So gaps down, I wanted a little pop and then to short into, to fade it down, which is exactly what happened. I shorted into the first pop at the open, and then I added once we started consolidating. I added, had a pretty decent position, but my patience, I didn't stick to my rules fully. I was holding it until about here when we started bidding a little bit higher, and I took it off. I think at 72 I took off half, and then on the bounce, on this bounce, once it came back down, I took off the rest. And in hindsight, obviously this was the stuff. This is, for those of you who don't know what I'm referring to, look at the previous video. I was explaining stuffing in the previous video. So this was a stuffing. This was actually an opportunity to add rather than get scared. But I took it off here. Just lack of patience, should still be in trade as well. Did the same thing on Friday. But yeah, overall, great risk reward, great entry. Have to work on the exits now. GME. This was another one where I should have exercised more patience. I mean, this fades all day. I started shorting this. Actually, had a pretty perfect entry at 25. So 25, 24, 23 are a couple of entries in here, and then I scaled out once we started going sideways right here. In hindsight, of course, not even in hindsight, I saw that it was putting on lower highs and lower highs, but I thought that it's getting a little choppy. I don't want to be involved in it. Maybe it's going to fake me out on the downside and pop towards the VWAP. I was more comfortable with shorting near VWAP rather than in here pretty far from the VWAP. So really nice trade, but obviously should have been in it all day. There's really not much reason to get out. There's really no reason to get out. But I think I was a little bit too big, so I just took it off. Excuse me. I have 2 losers today. The first one was CNET. On this one I went in also a little bit too big, a little bit too early. I started shorting in here, so I shorted, I added, and then I added, and then I got squeezed out. So yeah, should have been lighter, should have been able to withstand the stuffing here, and maybe even added in here, but I was a little bit too big and I got squeezed out. So the loss compared to my winners is pretty small, but it's a loser. Another one was DPW, and this one has been harder and harder to short, and I shorted pre-market and I added below VWAP, and I got squeezed out, but I didn't cover anything until I gave it enough chance to come back, and which it tried to, but we started putting on higher lows. My position wasn't that big for me to have to cover it, so dollar wise I wasn't down that much. So I covered it up in here, and I started going long because we noticed that the bids were absorbing size, and then the offers were really easy to take out. So I was testing it. I was buying some offers and selling the bid instantly. So when I bought the offer, like with 1,000 shares, I would flip up, I would take out the offer, and then when I would sell the bid, it wouldn't even budge. There would be 300-400 shares on the bid, and it would absorb the 1,000 shares instantly, no problem. So that was for me, that was a cue for me to get long, which I did. I thought there was going to be a bigger move. I sold about half into the spike, and then I sold the other half when after this bounce. So I was hoping that this level would hold, which it tried to, but didn't bounce that high. So I took off the other half for, excuse me, for a small gain. Overall,
HRB,
small loser
H&R
for me
Block
today.
enters exclusive partnership with Walmart.
And then the other loser
That's
for me
Hotel Romeo
was, oh
Bravo
yeah, this was
and
the
Whiskey
second
Michael
one.
Tango shares of
So
H&R Block,
yeah,
getting
that
a
is
spike
pretty
on
much my
that,
morning.
27.48.
A couple of great opportunities, and wish I had more patience with GME. I mean, oh my God, it's at 17:30 right now. And
H&R Block hitting a high of 27.48, now
no
27.29,
really nice
announcing
fader,
exclusive partnership with
anyway,
Walmart.
thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more great content. Over the weekend we had my cats
H&R Block will be the new exclusive
on the
do-it-yourself
podcast on
desktop
Chat with
software
Traders,
provider
which is a
available at
must
Walmart
listen, so
stores
I recommend
nationwide,
that to
installed
everybody.
directly by Walmart
And
on
so thank you guys for
walmart.com.
watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.